Alright, y'all, it's SJ. Welcome back to the channel. And I just released a cover a couple of days ago of I'll Be by Edwin McCain for my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. So, mom and dad, if y'all are watching this, hope y'all had a great anniversary, and I'm glad I was able to do that for y'all. But what I came on here to do is I did some interesting production things overall with it because I haven't produced a cover of myself in roughly a year and a half, since Christmas of 23. And the funny thing about that is ever since that, my YouTube has gone from probably 600, 700 people to almost 5,000. Thank y'all for 4,900, by the way. That is a big milestone. 5K coming soon, hopefully. But yeah, a lot of stuff to go over here. So let's go ahead and break this down one at a time. I'll talk about the tracks as soon as they come in to view here. And by view, of course I mean the audio view, because y'all ain't gonna be seeing nothing except the meters going up and down. So that was just MIDI piano. All the MIDI pianos in the sequence, there are a total of 5 of them. They are routed to the piano bus here, which has a reverb plugin on it. Reverb plugin on all the pianos. The reason why I did that, instead of doing it one at a time, all the pianos were the same, so it'd just be easier for them to go through this bus because it controls all 5, as opposed to just controlling one of them. Also put a slight delay on the piano. That was an option in the MIDI piano to add a delay as one of the parameters, so I did that as well.
Strands in your eyes, the color of them wonderful. Stop me, steal my breath.
Lots of stuff to go in here vocally. So I'm just going to solo the vocals, and we're going to talk about all the effects that I have on them.
And emeralds from mountains, thirst over the sky, never revealing their depth. And tell me that we belong together, dress it up with the trappings of love.
So there's an auto-tune plugin in here, really subtle auto-tune, just kind of ironing things out. It has been melodined, which that's a pitch correction tool, as you know. These two EQs, they are to essentially cut out the room noise in the background. So let me bypass this EQ here. Here's what it sounds like now.
I'll be captivated. I'll hang from your lips instead of the gallows.
It just adds more body to the vocal, and it makes it not, I'm not going to say tin candy is the right word, bright is the word I'm going for here. And also it decreases the room noise, because if I pull away from my microphone like I'm about to do right now, I'll show you an example. If I pull away from the microphone like this, you're getting the room acoustics, as opposed to if I'm up here, then you don't. But of course, there's still EQ corrections that you would have to go in and make. Let's go further down here. Another EQ. And then we have a gate, which the gate is basically cutting off. The second I quit singing, it cuts off all of the silence there.
Heartache hang from above.
And the reason why I have it on expander, it acts as a fader instead of cutting off automatically. And then of course the mix as well, and the EQ is actually providing some output gain. So it goes through the EQ, then into the gate, it gets gated, then into the reverb plugin after it gets gated. Because if you went reverse order, reverb, then it gets gated, it's going to cut off some of that reverb tail. Reverb tail meaning the end of that reverb, and we don't want that. So it goes through the reverb here, and then goes all of that gets compressed.
And I'll be your crying shoulder.
And if I had a chance to do this over again, I actually would have switched it. So it gets compressed before the reverb comes in. So it doesn't really. The reverb is the last thing in this vocal chain here.
I'll be love suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your life.
Drums kick in here. This was drums on my Modi-X piano that I use. And on the drum tracks were compressor and reverb, which this time I did it right. I did a compressor first and then reverb afterwards. So the reverb on these, it gives the drums a place to live, sonically a place to live. So if I just solo the drums. Nice bite to the snare, nice low end on the kick there. Let's listen for, do I go stereo piano here yet, or does that happen later on?
As we lie awake in my bed.
It's still mono currently, but there is a harmony part that comes in right here. It's at around 12:30, 1 o'clock. If you're looking at a clock and 12 is right in front of you, 1 would be a tiny bit to the right. So if I solo this.
As we lie awake in my bed.
I did that just for dynamics purposes, just so verse 1 and verse 2 differ from each other.
And you're my survival, you're my living proof. My love is alive and not dead. And tell me that we belong together.
Pre-chorus 2 and pre-chorus 1 are different. Pre-chorus 1, it was just piano and 1 vocal. Pre-chorus 2, mono piano, drums, vocal, harmony vocal. So a lot more elements being involved here.
Dress it up with a thought of our hang-ups instead of a heartache from above.
Nice little drum fill, hitting the snare a couple times. And then there's going to be a crash cymbal on the end of that there. Now here's where all of the stereo pianos start to come in here.
And I'll be.
So let me just go and solo the stereo pianos just so we can listen to the dynamic change and the overall width of all of these. What I have labeled the chorus trills here. These are just the verse. It's just the verse piano. It's copied in the chorus. And how you get that stereo effect. Let me go into the sequencer window here. Where does it happen? Okay, so it happens right around here. So I want to see if you guys can pay attention to this. They offset each other in the slightest bit here. I'm trying to zoom in really, really tight here. Just see if you guys can see. Okay. See how these offset each other in the slightest. When this is supposed to happen, because if they happen at the same time, your brain is just going to get those two incoming signals and translate it into one signal coming right at you, but the volume is increased. These are hitting at slightly different times, probably like 30 milliseconds, something like that, which gives your brain enough time to, I'm trying to think of the word here. It gives your brain enough time to recognize the fact there are 2 incoming pitch signals as opposed to 1. So that is what creates the stereo effect here, is the slight difference in timing and or pitch, which I will be showcasing the way I change the pitch once we get into doubles in the bridge. So let's go and keep this going.
I'll be the greatest fan of your life.
Bass slide comes in here. Let's go ahead and just solo that. Just a MIDI bass with some reverb on it, but I wanted the slide on there just to make it more realistic. Now here's where the doubles start coming in. Let me go and solo the vocal again.
I dropped out, I've burned up, I fought my way back from the dead.
The reason why I did that, it was I'm not gonna say it was lower in my range. It was still an easy note to hit, but since it's a lower note, there wasn't gonna be a volume increase. Actually, there's gonna be a volume decrease from the chorus, and I wanted the dynamics to keep on going in an upwards direction. So the doubles helped increase the width of the vocal and overall the presence and just how, quote, big it ended up being. Now, how I did these. Let's just solo these doubles here.
On my way back from dead.
You can hear there are 2 of them. Here's how. So I have these separated here. They are slightly different from each other. Same auto-tune plugin, same everything, with one exception. On one of them, I have the pitch set to negative, I want to say it's an 8, minus 8 cents, which 1 cent is 1/100th of a semitone. You have 1200 cents in an octave. So, and then the other double is 10 cents or 12 cents higher. So you have a 20-cent change, which is enough to make the doubles differ from each other.
And turn on, remember the things that you.
So that is what that sounds like. And now let's just listen to all of these as a whole here.
I fought my way back from the dead.
The bridge vocal gets bigger because of those doubles.
Tune in, turn on, remember the things that you.
Biggest part of the song here, the chords start coming in, bum 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 bum, and then the harmony goes from singing the 3rd above, it goes up to the 5th above. Well, technically in this case it's a 4 and 6, but you get the idea. It's two scale degrees apart, I'll say that. Let's listen to that part again.
For the things that you.
It's staying a 3rd apart.
Sad.
The biggest part of the song, the harmony jumps to that F sharp 4 at the top there, then goes back down. You can hear the auto-tune on it, but that's just because it's a harmony. You can auto-tune it more, and it's not going to get in the way of the timbre of your main vocal if you push it in the back like this harmony is. When I say push in the back, that just means the volume is lower, because if I'm talking to you now and then somebody is talking to you back here, you can tell from a sonic standpoint that they're further away. So that's why we say pushed in the back.
Tune in, turn on, remember the things that you said, and I'll be.
Last chorus, everything, all the elements are involved, with the exception of the doubles. I just wanted that to be in the bridge.
your crying shoulder. I'll be the suicide.
Since we're closing the end of this song, the master bus, all the other buses went to it, or routed to it. All I have here is a compressor and a limiter / maximizer to increase the volume up, since it was a bit of a quieter performance.
And I will be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of yours. I'll be your crying shoulder. I'll be the suicide. And I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your life.
The bass goes away here. Then the drums taper off and the piano tapers off as well. But it still remains that stereo piano at the end there, just so it's bigger than the intro. So yeah, that was basically my cover, me showing y'all how I produce my cover of I'll Be. Y'all go check it out. I should have the link either in description, or it should be in the corner of the video, either on the end card that's up right now, or I probably would have showed it earlier in the episode as well. But yeah, basically it for this video. I'm SJ. Signing off. See y'all.